I'm gonna go ahead and hit the awesome. Excellent. I will call this meeting of the License and Ordinance Committee on September 12th, 2023 to order. First thing on our agenda is comments from any citizens present. I will ask any citizens if they want to speak to a specific item on the agenda. You can let me know now and we'll just acknowledge you when that item is up. I see Brad Crandall from the high school and the Kempfers. And you guys will be speaking to which item on the agenda?
Haunted Hustle.
Oh, great. Okay, great. And so is that okay if we just wait till then and I'll acknowledge you when we discuss it?
Sure.
Great. All right. So moving on to the approval of the minutes. Does anyone have any changes to the minutes from the August 31st, 2023 meeting? All right. Hearing no changes, minutes are accepted as submitted or approved as submitted. Moving on to licenses and permits. Our first item is the application for Class B fermented malt beverage and Class C wine licenses by Ledmas Restaurant Group, doing business as Paquito, and that's located at 3301 Parmenter Street. Lucas D. Rodriguez Middleton as agent.
And there's no issues here on the background, no issues with the license or the premise.
Sounds great.
I did have one question. It looks like, sorry, trying to change screens here. It listed an address history in Florida in 2022, as recently as 2022, but then says that it was that residing in Wisconsin has been continuous for 14 years. I didn't know if that was a flag.
And I'd have to say it's not necessarily a flag. No, I did see on the driving record there has been moving back and forth. As for the actual agent, it says moved from Florida on the driving record as of September of 22. So yes, I would say definitely not continuous. Matt, was it 90 days prior?
Yeah, I believe so.
So there's no issues as far as the approval of the license.
Okay.
I think it might have been a mistake by the applicant as well, because I'm looking for, on page 8 of the packet. They mentioned that they've lived in Wisconsin for 9 months.
Yeah,
So maybe they were referring to Florida for the 14 months.
Oh,
It's rare to see this many moves. Actually, there's probably like 6 or 7 listed back and forth from Florida to Wisconsin.
One doesn't work at the family brokerage firm with you, doesn't.
What is the relevance of that question? And what do you do, Nathan?
Okay, if
Sorry?
I can ask everyone who's not currently speaking, if you could mute your iPads just so we don't pick up any background noise. Thank you. All right, so in regards to the application for the Class B malt beverage, are there any other questions or concerns? All right, hearing none, I will ask for a motion for approval.
this is
This
Cole.
is Jackson. I make the motion.
And Cole seconds.
Great, thank you. All right, all in favor for approval of the application for the Class B fermented malt beverage and Class C wine license for Paquito at 3301 Parmenter Street, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Excellent. All right, moving on. Application for a special event permit by Middleton High School. Brad Crandall, contact person, for the 2023 MCPASD Spirit Night Homecoming Parade on September 27th, 2023 at Middleton High School campus and Brighton Box Stadium. All right, Brad, any?
It's just the normal thing. We're only doing fireworks on Wednesday night while the elementary school kids are there. We won't do them at the game. So we'll have the parade, normal route right around the school, and then that'll be done by about 7. We'll do our powder puff stuff at the stadium, be done by 9:30 at the latest, and then we're out of there because it's a long week.
Yeah. All right, Laura, anything to add?
No, similar to previous years, like you said.
Sounds great. All right, any questions from anyone else on the committee? All right, hearing none, I will go ahead and move approval for the application for a special event permit for Middleton High School for the 2023 McPaslin Spirit Night Homecoming Parade on September 27th.
This is Jackson. I'll second it.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, application is approved. Have fun. Good luck.
Thank you,
All right.
everyone. I gotta go supervise girls volleyball. So thank you.
Great.
Have fun. All right, application for a special event permit by Madison Events. Robin Kempfer, contact person for the 2023 Haunted Hustle on October 21st, 2023 at Kiva Sports Center.
And did you,
Yeah.
do you
We
want
will
to
go
do?
ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. We will go ahead and take agenda items 3 and 4 together. So we are looking at the application for the special event permit and the outdoor amplified sound permit. The sound permit is for 9:15 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the 21st.
So this is obviously an annual event at Kiva. Event plans are fairly similar to previous years. Yes, last year it did span 2 days, a Saturday, Sunday type thing. Excuse me. And this year it is just going to be a Saturday race, even though there are several races taking place on that Saturday. And I will note that I have not received approval from Public Works or Parks yet. We got it in last week, so I don't think they've had a chance to review it and really just say that they have no concerns. And routes did slightly change from previous years just because they weren't able to use all of the trails last year due to the construction for at least the half marathon, I believe. And I don't think there was a 10K last year, but there is this year. So slightly different there. So I just want to make sure that that's noted, that I want to make sure that we still get that consent from Public Works and Parks.
All right, great. Any questions or concerns about the permit as it is from the applicant?
Just
No.
a matter of process, it's okay to move ahead even though it's still with Public Works or with the parks.
Yeah, I think we can make a motion to have it contingent upon their approval. And then if we hear any complaints or not complaints, but any concerns from Public Works or Parks, then Laura can let us know and we'll go from there. Yeah.
I would
Does
just
that-
add from the police perspective, sorry, we need to communicate at some point to figure out what the police resources will be needed and whether or not we can provide that. It hasn't been a problem in the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll probably email you tomorrow and kind of go through the maps and stuff.
Okay.
Obviously, it's changed a little bit. We'll need 5 officers this year, but it's all
Okay.
in one day.
And Jeremy, once you have more contact from them, if you have any concerns or anything, yeah,
There's nothing I've seen that's concerning. It's just going to be like the timing and everything. But
Okay.
yeah, the event's been fine in the years past.
okay.
And Jeremy, do you want me to send you the link tonight with all the maps and times on them?
Whenever you have it, that'd be great.
Okay.
And then we can look over it and just either communicate by email or phone or in person, whatever works best. But yeah, whenever you get a chance.
Okay, I'll shoot it over to you tonight so you got a chance to look at it. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Well then, would anybody like to put forward a motion for approval?
I would move approval contingent the green light from, is it Parks or Public Works? I'm sorry. Or
Both, actually.
Well,
Yep. As well as probably PD scheduling.
I'm actually going to separate these out too. Actually, now that I think about it, let's separate the special event permit from the outdoor amplified sound. So we'll go ahead and take item number 3, the application for a special event permit by Madison Events. If you'd like to make a motion on that, Jennifer.
Sure, I will move to approve that contingent, Public Works and Parks and PD scheduling contingencies. So.
Sounds good.
This is Jackson. I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much. All right, all those in favor then for approving the application for a special event permit by Madison Events for the 2023 Haunted Hustle on October 21st, 2023, contingent upon approval from Public Works, Parks, and the Police Department, say aye.
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 Great. All right, so Laura, thank you for following up and just letting us know if anything needs anything extra.
Yep, you bet.
All right, so now we will consider the application for the outdoor amplified sound permit for the same event on October 21st, 2023 from 9:15 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And to clarify, Alder Wilkus, that would not need contingencies because it's strictly the amplified sound. So thank you for breaking that apart. I would move to approve that amplified sound permit.
This is Jackson. I'll second that.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. All those in favor then of approving the outdoor amplified sound permit for the Haunted Hustle on October 21st, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, I think that was Jeffrey saying aye. Excellent, we got a thumbs up. Moving on to number 5. Thank you, guys.
Okay, have a good night.
We won't
Thanks,
take any
everyone.
more. Yeah, have
Good
a
luck
good
with your event.
Yes.
Thanks.
Moving on to the application for a temporary Class B retailer's license to sell wine by the Downtown Middleton Business Association on September 21st, 2023 for the 2023 Sip and Stroll.
Yeah,
And
so
the-
this one is actually, and I apologize, in the item I couldn't add any more text, but this is a follow-up from last month's meeting on getting the completed license list. And you will note that there are 2 that have not actually gotten their license numbers yet, but the application has been submitted. And I did hear from Andrea Van Ness that they had been issued and they're in the snail mail right now. So it's just a matter of not knowing what those exact numbers are yet.
Great. Thanks for bringing this back with the completed list of the servers.
Yeah, this is a lot more complete than what we saw last time, so this is great. Much appreciated when I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So do you have any other questions or concerns from anyone on the committee? No? All right. I will go ahead then and make a motion to approve the application for a temporary Class B retailer's license to sell wine by the Downtown Middleton Business Association for the 2023 Sip and Stroll, which is to be held on September 21st, 2023.
This is Cole. I'll second.
Excellent, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and that one is approved. Moving on to miscellaneous. This is a discussion on street closures associated with special event permits.
And this was kind of my addition here. Laura and I had talked about it a little bit in the past, but so the ordinance is pretty strict, and then says that any road closures that are more than 6 hours shall be denied. I think that's been stretched a bit here. So I guess there's 2 options. It could either be we are very strict and hold to that 6 hours, or one of the things that came up was the Stonehorse Green events, and is it as concerning to shut down that area for more than 6 hours? So it could either be, I guess, a change in ordinance, or we stick with it, but we got to stick to it.
What's the reasoning behind that? Do you have any idea of when the ordinance was written?
Yeah, I wrote it. I don't recall exactly how we landed upon. I mean, I imagine the 6 hours. Let me put it, I don't remember any particular significance to 6 hours. I mean, the purpose
is, to have some limit on the amount of time you have public roads closed. But I don't recall there being any specific significance to the number. I think that's just what at the time it was felt that seemed like a reasonable amount. So, but yeah, we've had a few applications, I guess, that's come through and for longer, and we've kind of let that slip through the cracks a bit. And so we noticed that. We thought we'd better bring it to the committee's attention and talk a little bit about whether, we want to keep it at 6 and stick to it. We could expand it a bit. We could possibly consider an exception for the area around Stone Horse Green specifically, or another option, we could treat it, like we do with amplified sound. If you're outside the time period, but get special approval from the council on it is another option. I don't think maybe it's something that we necessarily need to resolve tonight, but ask questions, and if you have a direction you'd like to go.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been a good discussion to have when we were writing the Stone Horse Green ordinance and updating that to write in that contingency, because it's I think that plays a different role just because it's almost like a drive-through parking lot in a lot of ways, in my viewpoint.
Yeah.
So I think that I would like to see us write it into the ordinance that it be an exception, possibly, if we aren't considering changing the 6-hour road closure for the general roads. Can you give me an indication of like what events? Like, I was just trying to look through to see if one of this haunted marathon, the haunted half, or any of these kind of things require that kind of timeline.
The most recent one was Stone Horse Green last weekend. I think that was a full 12. And then the other one that I recall in recent history was the Art Walk on Terrace Avenue.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I know that they're even already planning for like a 10 to 5 event for next year. So that would be 7 hours.
I'm wondering then if we don't considering the fact that the design of Terrace Avenue was to be an event space, if that's also something that we should consider writing an exemption for, or having some sort of contingency that allows for that to be closed down more, just because of the downtown locations. I mean, I could see it being a problem. I mean, if you think about the Ironman this weekend, they closed down half roads, right? And even that was a lot, but so it makes sense to me that we wouldn't allow it outside of a very secluded area, but I would like to see some sort of exemption made for downtown. That's my viewpoint on it.
I guess my question with that is maybe this is for Matt, is it less of a lift if we are writing in exceptions for certain locations than it would be to have a new element to the requests that would provide for the variance? So folks like the amplified sound could request a deviation from the 6 hours and have it be across the city. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if and I don't know how difficult it would be to kind of go back and look. I mean, it would be good to know, if we've been getting a lot of these events around the city, have these been mainly downtown? I mean, I suppose it hasn't been, to my knowledge, a big headache to have, the open ability to go beyond hours for the amplified sound. I mean, we get it occasionally, but so, I mean, I don't know that, just opening it up as a variance that anyone can request with council approval would necessarily open up the floodgates to everybody asking for it. But
And is it something that could just be included in the request for the street closure?
could, I,
How, I guess, how do you mean? Because like right now, when we were having this discussion, when we started the discussion was like, when they fill out a special event permit right now, when they are asked if it will require street closures. And right now it was just like yes or no, and then you put down the times. Whereas, now I have asked Lori, city clerk, to put in there that we really aren't supposed to be making exceptions over 6 hours, but we could obviously tweak that whatever way we're leaning towards.
I mean, I guess that makes more sense when you think about places maybe along Lake Street. Or any other, I mean, I'm thinking of what other would require a closure more than 6 hours, other than something like the art event or a community event. I mean, I guess block parties and such, but that 6 hours is a long time for a block party.
yeah.
So I wonder
Yeah.
with the new things going in, if like in a forward-looking way, potentially there could be like the street to the boat launch, potentially
Yeah.
an event space that may, if they want to have a block party or Harbor wants to have an event, I could see streets at Bell Farm or Red Tail Ridge, depending. I mean, I'm not sure what their as the phases grow with regard to like their commercial space.
So,
Well, alternatively, we could eliminate that altogether and simply take it as a case by case basis. I mean, keep an application and require them to specify how long, but simply decide on a case by case basis that, no, 72 hours is too long, or, I mean, that's like, I suppose, another option that's available to us.
man, I just want to add, there's 4 instances in which these special events permits shall be denied. And one of those, just addressing some of those circumstances that you brought up, it says that if the proposed street use is primarily for private or commercial gain, in which case I think some of those, like you're talking about Harbor, that's, probably for commercial gain. The street use will substantially hinder the movement of police, fire, emergency vehicles, constituting a risk to persons or property. And then the 6-hour rule. And then if the proposed use could be held in a public park or other location, those are the 4 shall. So, and I would argue, some of these events might be able to be held in a park as well. So maybe it would be better to eliminate all of that, and if that's the way Eleanor wants, just take them case by case.
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly shall, kind of ties your hands. I mean, we could still, I ask for all the information to kind of get an idea and make sure the application gives us all the information so you can judge what the impact is going to be. And certainly when the police department and public works reviews these things, I'm sure to some degree that's always in mind, even though these things are there. So yeah, I mean, we could really open it up and just kind of have this be a lot more discretionary while ensuring that you get the information to evaluate it. So if you like, I could put something together, a draft that without necessarily committing right now yourselves to adopting that, come back with a draft next time that's a bit more open and allows some discretion while still considering these factors.
I think-
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would say I'm still more in favor of just making exceptions for the downtown space, considering those 4 instances that you mentioned, Jeremy. It seems to me that keeping those spaces downtown is much more of the community aspect of it, and I don't think we'll see anybody besides the city. I guess maybe the jazz festival, but they're doing that in connection with the city event as well. For the event that was this last weekend, I'm assuming was co-sponsored by the city as well. So I think anything along the downtown area, because it's not a thoroughfare, I'm more comfortable with allowing exemptions for. Anywhere else, you know, blocking off for more than 6 hours access to a boat launch seems a little much. I mean, even blocking the whole street for more than an hour, it just seems, I think those exemptions that Jeremy pointed out are there for a reason, and I think they're pretty good. So I don't know that I would want to see those go away. I would rather just see us be very strategic about the streets that we allow bigger festival events sort of to be held at and keep it downtown. But that's my opinion on that.
No, that makes good sense.
And I think, I mean, it's a really good point that to a note for our committee to pay more attention to those sort of things and to the limit on the hours. And making sure that we're checking all the boxes and making sure that everything is done the way that our ordinances are written. But I would like us to see, I still think that, you know, we should revisit the ordinance for Stonehorse Green again, and maybe tighten it up a little bit as far as what we allow down there, and how that works now that we're sort of through almost 6 months of using it. And I don't think that's something that we have to do right away. I think that's something that can wait until, you know, as the season goes on. But
well, for next time, then I'll bring something back, at least to deal with the downtown and longer closures. Are you thinking more just strictly the area, the L around Stonehorse Green and Terrace Avenue, or
pretty much?
Because I mean, it would seem pretty difficult. Parmenter would seem to be kind of a difficult one to shut down, even between University and Terrace.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I would think just. Oh, go ahead.
No, Mustard Day does Hubbard, and they have sometimes mentioned the idea of closing down Parmenter. Then it would connect that whole like L through Stonehorse Green. They've just mentioned it. Obviously, it hasn't happened, but I will say their closure usually is 10 to 4.
Yeah.
Well, the official event, the closure might extend that actually.
Yeah, I think that might have been another one. I wasn't involved in the approval of that permit, but I think that one was in excess of 6 as well.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point. I mean, any north-south connections to the city are hard to close off because there's so few of them. But Parmenter because it is the heart of downtown, would be something that we should probably consider. But I don't see closing Parmenter for more than 6 hours at any time would be feasible, especially for emergency vehicles. And like you're saying, that seems even a hard sell, but. So are we asking Matt to come back then with specific, so Matt, sorry, you just stated what you're going to come back with, and that sounds good. I was still stuck on what you were talking about before.
Okay. Yeah. I'll confine it then to the, area Terrace, I presume between Parmenter and what's the
High, I think it's
High.
North High Point, yeah.
North High Point, and then the streets around the L around Stonehorse Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of if there's no more discussion on that topic. No, hearing none. That brings us to the end of our agenda. And unless there's any other discussion, I will call us adjourned.
Good.
Sound good?
Jeremy, do you have a second?
Yep.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
See you. Thank you.